First of all, as you all know, Korea is one of the countries that's really interested and really crazy in education. And according to the OECD, you can see the entrance of the rate of the entrance of college. Korea has the highest among the OECD countries, which is 68%. And also, like for me, I think I'll be one of that 68% because after this competition, I have to like go straight to the Hagwon, aka after school organization. So, yeah, Korea is one of the countries that are really like crazy in education. Anyway, and most of these students, their goals and their dreams are being public officials. Like really surprisingly, because of their like what do you say, their welfares and their like leisure times are like given. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And one thing is that, did you know when did this interest about this boom of being a public officer started? Maybe 50 years ago, or maybe 100? Actually, it's much longer. So today, then what would be the history of the public officer in Korea, and how could they become, and what was it about it? So today, I would like to introduce about the history of the state examination, and my name is Ethan Kil Han Seo, and I'm from Sungshil High School. So basically how it started is that during like in the Goryeo dynasty, which is like in the 19th century, 9th centuries, one of the king, he wanted to like reform the country, so he decided to like have this new test, which is called the state examination, to choose the this what do you say, his officials really like cleanly. So yeah, he started this test, and this was basically about like to select talented people fairly. And the thing is that though, like when you go to the 13th century, most people consider becoming a public officer was like the greatest honor. So like when you go to like every like parents like in like families in like in the 13th century, their Asian moms will go like, "Hey son, you have to be a public officer," and like his son should be like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it was everyone's dream. And yeah, so the state examination was basically divided into three parts, which is the civil, military, and the chapgwa, aka the experts. We call the scientists, lawyers, or translators, or medical kind of stuff. And basically, the civil service examination was considered as the most honorable. So most kids' dream were going into that passing the civil service examinations, because after passing them, they could become a top-ranked nobleman during the Joseon Dynasty. By the way, because of the Confucianism ideology based on in the 13th century from like the 19th centuries, they thought one of the ideology was that like men and women are different, so they have to do different jobs, which is basically like stereotypes. So women and also slavers were not allowed to take this test. From now on, so also like basically when people talk about state examination and like during like Korean history, they mostly say this like it's about civil service examination. So we're going to take a closer look about it. The civil service examination was divided into like we can divide them into two parts, which is the first exam and the second exam. And the first exam, they select 200 people by doing two different tests, and by becoming it, you can become a like officers, but not really high one. To become a really high officers, like prime minister kind of stuff, they have to pass the second exam. And the second exam, they only choose like 33 people, and by their score, according to their scores, they were given their like officials kind of places. So the first places were called the Changwon Gupje in Korea, and the interesting thing is that every time you take this test, this officials, they all recorded the test and also their identity and all their names or privacy. So yeah, this is the list, and this list in my slide is the list of applicants from like in the 1564 to the first to the third ones. And this kind of archive is quite historically important because it enlists the name of the Yi and the Ru Sung-yong, each of the first and the third, which is one of the most famous philosophers or like politicians or officers during the Joseon Dynasty. Especially the Yi, he has a nickname called Gudo Jangwon-gong, which means he passed the 9 exams in the top score. So it means like, compared to today, like he take 9 suneung and he got all in the first place. So it's quite a feat, yeah. And you can all see their like father's position or names or date of birth kind of stuff over here. And after smart people like Yi, after passing the exam, they could have this. They also held a celebration held by the country, like going down to this like countries. But I think to explain this, I need some volunteers. So, Mr. Liam, would you please come down to the stage, please? Please give him a round of applause, please. So let's say that our gorgeous Mr. Lee has passed the exam in the first place, and after that, our great king, would you be the king? Yeah, you're the king. Yeah. So basically, I made it, by the way. Yeah, I'm like the H brothers in like the Thor. So anyway, yeah. So let's say that our Mr. King is going to receive this hat to this Liam. Yeah, good. and Liam's. Oh no, you keep that in. Yeah. And like in the script, he's going to like roam around the countrysides and visit other like say that I'm the best kind of stuff, like really selfish jerk. Anyway, he's going to like roam around the countries, and when he goes to his hometown, which we say here, hello, Mr. Alex. You're from now on. You can be the tutor, and you can be Soha be a mother. And when he visited to this hometown to show the respect because they to the ones who really helped becoming the this officials, he had to show some respects and say thanks for the ones who helped him. So, yeah. Anyway, that's how this Samil Yuga in Korea, like showing respects, kind of this kind of celebration was held, and which is the conclusion that I think is that by making this PPT and preparing for this, I thought that what do you say, studying these kind of old philosophers or like officers during the Joseon Dynasty, it really gave us like the motivation to go to colleges or kind of stuff or to study more. So I wish you could also try, and thank you for listening.